As William James once said, great many people think they're thinking when what they're really doing is rearranging their prejudices. I think that this phrase perfectly describes all this raging and raving of parents and their obedient children who are offended by some people stating that they do not feel indebted to their parents. It provokes a feeling of anger in some people that adopted this notion as true and sort of build their life around this notion. I would like just to talk about this question more rationally and actually examine the reasons for why this debt exists, if it exists at all. It shouldn't hurt, right? Because if that's really true, then the truth should not fear examination and investigation. So let's just think about it rationally. Why does this indebtedness occur at all? What's the basis for it? Because, you know, if there's a debt, there should be a cause for it. So why do children owe their parents? The reasons that, the arguments that I'm hearing for it is just, you know, well, the most uh, idiotic one, sorry, I think is the claim that they owe their parents solely already on the basis that they were given life by their parents. And life in itself is always a gift, and therefore any child owes something to their parent already. Is any life a gift? And if so, then you know, we should also claim that all those people who have endured tremendous suffering in this life also owe their parents. You know, people who have been killed in genocides, people who have been conducted medical experiments on, suffering through hours and days and months and slowly decaying on that table until they died. They should be grateful to their mothers and fathers for bringing them into this world. And all those kids in Africa that do not live up to their fourth or fifth birthday, that keep slowly dying from hunger and malnutrition and AIDS, and they also should thank their parents solely on the basis that they, you know, got to see the sunlight. Magnificent it was, and all that pain that they've endured shouldn't matter, right? Because this life is precious in any shape or form. I don't think that this argument stands. So I don't think you can claim the indebtedness solely on the basis of the life being imposed on you, right? On anyone. It's just we're going to the second most basic question, most important one, I guess, is that it's happening without the child's consent. Children are not asking to be born, and can you really claim indebtedness in a case where the receiver of your care, of your help, never asked for it? And can you just say, well, I repaired your car, I'm sure you like your car repaired more than you like it broken, so you have to pay me now. I see a problem with that, because you know what, if nobody asked you to repair that car, if you do it solely for your own reasons, out of your own free will, then you don't get to claim the indebtedness. You maybe you can ask for some favor in return, but actually it's you acting, you're violating another person's freedom, and you actually can get in trouble for that, and rightly so, because you know what, it's none of your business what's happening with the other person. You shouldn't be intruding, you shouldn't be imposing when nobody's asking you. And the only case where the help, the imposition of help, is justified, sort of, it's probably when you see somebody already in a dire condition, and you sort of realize that their condition is so bad already that you cannot, and they for some reason cannot give their consent, or they cannot respond. For example, they're drowning right now and they are already on the stage where they cannot just shout out, "Help me!" So you have to assume that they are consenting, and help them, and then well, maybe they owe something to you, or yeah, especially if they were not trying to commit suicide. But that's kind of I'm kidding here. But yeah, that would be sort of the only situation where you could claim that the person owes you something, even though they did not give their consent before you help them. But in the case of children, there's no such situation. Nobody screaming out from some kind of the other world, "Please have me, please let me come in into this magnificent world so I can, I don't know, play a computer game or write a symphony or something like that." It's us. We, the parents, the adults, the living humans, we decide that more people should come in here. And it's solely our responsibility then to provide for them. It's just a no-brainer. If you create something that is helpless, that has needs, and if you have enabled their very existence, then it's your responsibility, it's your debt to them to care for their needs, to take care of them, and to provide for them. Because if it weren't for you, they wouldn't even be in this needy state. They wouldn't be crying. They wouldn't be hungry. They wouldn't be needing your assistance if it wasn't for your decision to have them. So I see no basis here to claim any sort of indebtedness. If it's your decision to have children for whatever reason, I don't know, it can be selfish reasons. I assume all of them are, unless you're adopting someone, you're creating someone who never needed anything. So you may think you have altruistic reasons, but it doesn't really matter. Even if you had some altruistic reasons, the child does not need that. The child does not exist yet. So it's still your decision to have them. And so all the debt is actually the other way around. If you create a kid, you you should think a little bit. You should be able to guarantee a little bit of something at least. It's funny how we treat just regular pregnancies and the adoption. When just a young couple decides to have children, nobody asks them any question. It's presumed to be their right, the right to procreate, the right to give life to someone who's not asking for it, right? The right to have their little cute dolls, living dolls, their Pokemons that they will care for, and they exercise their right to care and invest into the future and all this stuff. But okay, yeah, I'm sarcastic. Yeah, you get this. But when we approach the adoption question, it's totally different. When you want to adopt a kid, you'll be scrutinized. They will look at how much money you earn, will you be able to provide for the kid, where do you live, what are the conditions, who do you live with, what kind of lifestyle you have, what kind of education you have, what can you offer a kid. So in this case, we kind of get it. We get it that the child has rights, that the child should not be just placed in any kind of family. It should have a right to live in some kind of friendly house with normal people, with people who have something to offer, not with people who are starving themselves, or work 5 jobs already. If they work 5 jobs, they sleep 3 hours a day, they simply shouldn't be having kids. And if they have kids and it's so difficult for them to care for them, it's not the kid's problem that it's so difficult. The adult should know better before they have a kid. It should know the kid, the parents should know that this world is tough, and you have a job today, you may lose it tomorrow. And if you have a kid, the risk of it is going to be even more dire, both for your kid and for you. It's going to be much more painful for you to lose a job while having a kid. And all those things you should weigh in your brain before you have a kid, but not right after you had a kid and you have some difficulties, facing difficulties in your life, and then you blame it on your children. You say, you know how hard it was for me to take care of you. I haven't slept my nights. I have been providing for you. It's all the bullshit. It's bullshit. It's your responsibility. It's what you should be doing, okay? Because nobody asked you to have those children. It happened solely because you decided to have children, so it's your responsibility. And if you want to complain about it, fine. Complain about it to your friends, you get together, you complain how hard it is to be parents, but don't blame it on your kids because they had no say in it. Maybe if you consulted them in some kind of fairy situation, they would have said, please, it's going to be hard on you. I don't want to be your kid. I don't want to be the one to have to carry all the shit on me because you couldn't handle being a parent. I don't want to be the one to blame for your misfortunes in life. So if you're so miserable, then please just get me out of this. Don't drag me because children do not have a choice in that. They nobody asked them if they even want to be the part of the family. You assume that kids will be okay being your kids, but you know what? Maybe you're not such a good mother or father. It's just ridiculous to stick children with a bill for something they never asked for. And would we just stop doing that? 21st century finally, and call all things like they are. No, if you create a problem, if you create a need that never existed before, you had sex with someone and decided to deliver that baby. If you have done this, and without you it wouldn't have happened, that you bear all the responsibility for the welfare of that helpless, innocent thing you created. And I know this thing is selfish because this thing has a lot of needs, just like you do, but the thing cannot yet provide for themselves. They are not yet capable, and you knew that would be the situation. And if you knew it, and if you were a thinking adult, then you cannot blame anyone anything for your own decision. No, take responsibility for it and live with it. Um, I don't know, it's just so horrible to see the guilt feeling that parents impose on their kids. I mean, it's just so unfair. And I know they're not doing it because they are themselves so psychologically healthy and happy and all this stuff. They do it because they're desperate too. But I mean, all this vicious circle. I mean, someday it has to stop. At least I think when we be talking more about the responsibilities and the debts of the parents, more parents, future parents, will be discouraged from approaching this question recklessly, the way it's approached right now. You want to have a baby here? Well, let's have a baby. I mean, this is only like the most important decision of your life that you should not be approaching so lightly. And especially after that, if the baby is an inconceivable burden for you, you do not have a right to blame the baby, the kid for it, or to even say that, you know what, maybe you owe me something. No, they don't owe you anything. You owe them for bringing them here without their consent. Because when you did this, you could not guarantee anything. Well, maybe you thought you could, but in fact, you can't. Parents cannot guarantee anything. Today, your children's life can be alright, and I'm sure they hope that they will be okay in this life, but this world is dangerous. It has all sorts of risks. And when you bring a kid here into this world, you expose them to all those possible risks, all those dangerous situations that may take place. It's regardless whether you want it to happen or not. Most parents do not want it to happen, but you know, children still get hurt in this world. So I don't think you can claim any kind of indebtedness for the fact that you've played with somebody's welfare, you've played with their life, you decided that it's worth for them to take a risk. But but if they're gonna be hurt, um, that should it also be your responsibility then? If you demand praise and respect for all the good stuff that you did for them, do you deserve reproach for the bad stuff that happened to that kid? Or do you only want to have it one way? Like, I want to have all the praise um, for all the joys and the good stuff that happened to my kid, but whenever they get into some kind of trouble and they experience horrific suffering, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I didn't know it would happen. I didn't know. I hope it would be. Yeah, you hope. You hope, and you think it's sufficient to bring a new person into this world because you hope that it will be okay. Parents, some of them deserve respect, some of them not, as George Carlin said, right? No, he actually said this. He said the truth is, obedience and respect should not be automatic. They should be earned. They should be based on the parents' performance. Parents' performance, all right? Some parents deserve respect, most of them don't. So I think that's the true case that we have in here. Most parents truly do not deserve respect, but they utterly want it because having children is the easiest way. Well, from some point of view, because you have to do a lot of things for your children, so it's actually hard. But it's the easiest way to earn respect. You'll have to really succeed in something, to do something. Um, to have respect in society from people who are not related to you, who do not owe you anything, who just look at you objectively. But you can sort of buy respect for yourself by having those little slaves, who you can play with their minds. They are so vulnerable, yet you can install all the bullshit into their computer very early on, and you can convince them that you deserve respect that you actually do not deserve. And you can expect the unconditional love. It's so convenient. I mean, children, it's just so many things that parents want when they have their kids that uh, if anyone owes anything to anybody, it's the parents, because it's the parents' decision, it's the parents' want that they satisfy. I want, no matter what it is you want. I want to make my kid happy. You want it. It's your desire. You're satisfying it. The kid does not want it. The kid never wanted it until it was created by you. So it's your want. It's the satisfaction of your needs, whatever those needs are. They all center around yourself and your spouse and your future and all your images of how wonderful it will be when children this and children that and the children in the picture. When it's true that a lot of people miscalculate it, and it actually does not turn out to be as jolly as they thought it would be, because they imagine some very nice situations with their children, thrilling, lots of love, lots of joy, lots of very pleasant feelings, but in fact it turned out to be a lot of work, a lot of caprices, a lot of sounds, a lot of, wow, let's not get too little here, but it's true, it does not turn out the way the parents think oftentimes. I don't know, I don't have the statistics, maybe most of the time doesn't, but it's not the kid's fault. I believe it's precisely because we tend to cut so much slack for parents and keep putting such a big burden on children that we perpetuate this cycle of lousy parenthood. We give such a carte blanche to anyone who wants to become a parent, and then we have this more and more clients for psychoanalytics, that they will keep digging more for problems in childhood, and we will find many because parents do not actually know what they're doing. And how, under all these circumstances, are we still capable of placing any blame on children who are obviously the victims in this? They, not much depends on children. A lot depends on someone who is presumably smarter, but at least, more experienced in life. And that's where we should be looking for the blame, if anywhere. But I'm not such a fan of blame at all, but I'm a fan of responsibility. And we should be treating the parenthood as such with more scrutiny and more demands, and we should cultivate the responsibility of the parents. We should not be endorsing just anyone can become a parent. I mean, anyone. You don't need a license for it. You don't need any qualification. Any idiot whose sexual organs are working fine can become a parent. His inalienable right, or her inalienable right. That's just such a bullshit. This is just so careless. This is negating the rights of those future children who will come here and will have to live with those morons. And then those morons will be saying to their kids, their slaves, their victims, that they owe them something. Do you see anything wrong with that? Because I do. I think that we should make this institute of parenthood less desirable and less tempting for people, so that only people who realize all the risks and all the responsibilities and all the burdens will take that role. Okay, not just everyone. And then they say, well, there are no perfect parents, nobody's perfect, so me, without any education, without having read any book on parenthood or anything, I started to raise a kid, and that's how it turned out. That's why my kid is now in the madhouse, because I was such a lousy parent and all stuff. It's just, yes, um, we are not perfect, and we will not be perfect parents probably. Some will be close to perfect though. But I mean, should we try and cultivate the responsibility, the awareness, the responsible approach to it? Or should we just say, well, nobody's perfect, so do what you want, and be whatever parent you like and do what you want with your kids? I think we're already approaching this, but we start caring more about children's rights, and already we take care of kids. We take them away from abusive parents, although decades ago it would have been all right. Yeah, his kid every time, beats the shit out of them, so they will be good people in the future. So that's the bullshit the society was some decades ago adopting as truth, and we still are full of bullshit today. I suggest that we just start improving, continue improving in this sphere, and uh, create declare more demands for the parents, and stop placing the blame on kids who really have no say in this. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Stay blameless, and whatever. Just good luck with life.